carefully done. And the administrator there, he is a politician from Gujarat, so and he is, it's like a governor. So administrator of Lakshadweep is like governor of any state, so he has full command of the whole thing, and lot of controversies are there these days, because he is coming up with ideas unilaterally without consulting the people of Lakshadweep, and Lakshadweep people are protesting, but it is ecologically very, very sensitive and fragile, and he is not considering all these things. So anyway, let us see how things will evolve. So Andaman Nicobar, it is should not be the first option. Our mainland should be used for that, not the Andaman Nicobar, because Andaman Nicobar has its own limitations. Now, I think all location specific are aimed at reducing fuel and increasing payload. Exactly. So when when it is near equator, it can when the acceleration due to gravity is less, easy to escape from the Earth's what you call gravitational force, or rather it can move up easily. So fuel consumption will be reduced, as well as we can increase the payload, absolutely no doubt, and that is what exactly what is going on. Now coming to the remote sensing satellites, remote sensing. So there can be a question, it has been asked also earlier, what is remote sensing? What do you mean by remote sensing, and what is the speciality of its orbit? What is remote sensing? What is the of its orbit, and discuss some of its applications. Discuss some of its applications. Okay. So this can be a question, it has been already asked, what is remote sensing? So remote sensing literally means observation and gathering data from a distance. Observation and gathering data from a distance. Observation and gathering data from a distance, and now in remote sensing, like it's like a photography. Remote sensing is a photography. The main activity is photography. In normal photography, we take use of the visible light to take photographs, as you know very well. But in remote sensing satellites, so it can be, so this photography can be on the, if this is Earth, from on top, an aeroplane can be used to take photograph, or we can even launch a satellite to take photographs. So anything from a distance, if you are taking photograph, that is what is remote sensing, and is nothing but photography. Normally we use visible light for photography, but light is a part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Please don't forget, light is part of the electromagnetic radiation, and the entire electromagnetic radiations we call it as spectrum, and we know there are gamma rays, there are X rays, there are ultraviolet rays, then visible, infrared, micro and radio waves. Okay. This is what we call it as the entire spectrum. Okay. X-ray, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, micro, radio. Now, what is the difference between these electromagnetic radiation? All are having the same speed of light, we know 3 lakh kilometers per second. Now, the difference is in the wavelength and frequency. Okay, very simple. All are electromagnetic radiation. Difference is in the wavelength and frequency. So, wavelength into frequency is equal to speed. The speed is 3 lakh kilometers. All of them, whether X-ray also has 3 lakh kilometer per second speed, visible light also has 3 lakh kilometer per second speed, radio waves also have 3 lakh kilometer per second speed, all of them have the same speed. What is the difference then? The difference is in the wavelength and frequency. Frequency is the number of vibrations per second. Frequency, vibrations per second. So how many times it vibrate in a wave? So if these gamma ray, X-ray and all, what is the speciality? They have very high frequency and minimum wavelength. Here it is minimum wavelength, radio wave maximum wavelength. But frequency, maximum frequency and minimum frequency. So that is why we are having. And what is visible light? Visible light is an electromagnetic radiation in which it has a particular wavelength, and we are able to see that particular wavelength only. For example, infrared, our heat energy is traveling as infrared waves. We are not able to see heat, but we can feel the heat. We cannot see the heat wave, but we can feel the heat. Similarly, radio waves, in this room or wherever you are sitting, there are radio waves, but you are not able to see the radio wave, but we can feel the radio wave because we are able to connect radio. You switch on the radio, you will immediately able to tune it because the radio waves are present there. So, but we are not visible for our visible eyes, okay, or our eyes. So, visible, VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, all these colors what we are talking, and it is the visible light we are talking here. So when we take normal photography, we are taking normal photography within this using light, normal visible light. But in remote sensing satellites, we use the entire spectrum of electromagnetic radiation for photography. So in remote sensing satellites, we use the entire spectrum of electromagnetic radiations for photography. So we use visible light, infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, microwaves. So especially we use these four very clearly. We use ultraviolet, visible, infrared and micro, specifically this many electromagnetic radiations for the photography purpose. So these electromagnetic radiations either reflected, scattered or radiated from various objects on earth, either reflected, scattered or radiated from various objects on earth. We use infrared, ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared rays as well as microwaves which are reflected, scattered or radiated from various objects on earth for this photography. So that is why the camera which we use in a remote sensing satellite, we call it as a multispectral camera. We use multispectral camera to take photograph. So in normal light, we are using only one spectrum, that is visible light. The normal camera, we are using only visible light. Now we are using multispectral camera to take photographs. And this, or it is called multispectral imaging for simultaneous. That means more than one photograph is possible at a time. More than one photograph at a time. That is why these cameras can even take photographs during the night time, because any heat energy produced, infrared rays, that also can be photographed, or any ultraviolet rays produced or scattered or reflected or coming from the surface of the earth, it can be captured in this camera. So, there can be photography even during the night time. And also these are, since it is multispectral camera, the film, when in a camera there is a film, or we have to collect the data. So, we are using a solid state electronic detectors for receiving the images, like in a photographic, in a normal camera we used to use earlier photographic the films, or nowadays we are able to register it in our in a chip. Similarly, in remote sensing satellites we use solid state electronic detectors, we use solid state electronic detectors known as charge coupled devices. These are known as charge coupled devices, CCDs. This is not cafe coffee day, okay, CCD, charge coupled devices, or they are special what you call instruments or other facilities whereby we can receive the images of the multispectral camera. So, we use charge coupled devices to receive the data or to collect the data of this multispectral camera. And another very important aspect of these satellites, remote sensing satellites, it travel or it is placed in a, so it has multispectral camera, it can take photographs in the range of the spectrum. I have already said ultraviolet, visible, infrared, as well as in microwave radiation. We are using multispectral camera, we are using charge coupled devices to store the data, and another important aspect is these satellites are placed in a polar sun synchronous orbit. Okay. Remote sensing satellites are placed in a polar sun synchronous orbit. Yesterday in the previous class somebody asked me also that what is this polar orbit, I am going to tell that now. Okay. So, remote sensing satellites are placed in polar sun synchronous orbit. Polar sun synchronous orbit means, please remember, these satellites will revolve, this is north pole, this is south pole, it revolves from north to south direction through the polar region. It will cross the polar region in the north to south direction. Whereas the communication satellites, I told, it will be traveling in the east to west direction, west to east direction along the equator. Please don't forget, communication satellites are placed along the equator at a height, we have seen that, okay, at 35,784 kilometers, 35,784 kilometers at equator, above equator. But, so that is communication satellites. So, please remember, communication satellites are traveling from west to east, above equator. It has to be geostationary, geosynchronous, synchronous with the earth's rotation. It is geosynchronous. But our remote sensing satellites are not geosynchronous, it is polar sun synchronous, traveling from poles. See, normally these are cameras to take photograph. So, normally it is placed anywhere between 400 to 1200 kilometers above, not more than that. It is in the near earth orbit or low earth orbit, it is in LEO, whereas communication satellites are placed in geostationary Earth orbit or geosynchronous orbit. It is synchronized with the rotation of the Earth. We need 24 hours communication. Communication satellites should be like that. Whereas these remote sensing satellites are polar, traveling from pole to pole, north pole to south pole direction it is revolving. And it is synchronized with sun, not with Earth, because we are taking photograph. Photography requires lighting. So it is constant, it is placed such a way that it is at a constant angle with sun. That is why it is called sun synchronous orbit. So polar, the remote sensing satellites are in a sun synchronous orbit, or it is at a constant angle with sun. It should be, it is in a it should be in a constant angle with sun. That is why it is called a sun synchronous orbit. Now let me just tell you, see, when our Earth, please listen carefully, this is sun and our Earth revolves around the sun in a slightly elliptical orbit, no issues, and our Earth is at an inclined axis also. So, and our satellites, now you please see properly, this satellite is revolving from north pole to south pole, and the satellite is supposed to take photograph while revolving from north to south. Earth is revolving like this. Now, you please see, suppose Earth is somewhere here. This is a time when it is in June in every year, because that is the north pole is fully exposed to sun. That is summer season for us. And please remember, during this time, you can see sun's light will be coming from this side, from behind the camera. Just imagine when Earth is here, sun's light is coming, it's like a flash coming from behind. You are taking photograph. And the photography, see, photography, everything in photography, basic thing is lighting. The angle from where the light is coming and everything matters a lot. And the clarity on great photographs, their only concern is light. We know very well, because everything changes with light. Now, after some time, after 3 months, what will happen? Earth will reach here. Please wait. Okay. Earth has reached here. Now, if the satellite is revolving in the same plane, what will happen? Our satellite will be revolving the same way, and say satellite is here to take photograph, but sun's light, now it is coming from a totally different direction. Sun's light is coming from here, but camera will be positioned from the side. See, earlier, now if you want to compare this, see, suppose this is the Earth, and this satellite was taking, okay, satellite was taking photograph from this direction and light was coming from behind. Now the Earth has reached here, sun is here, in the middle, okay. If sun is in the middle and Earth was here, this is Earth, took photograph like this. Now we have reached here. Now if you are taking photograph from this side and the light is coming from the opposite direction, what will happen? There is a change in the illumination and these photographs are not comparable. So this is what exactly it is happening here. Please look here once again. I hope you can understand what I am speaking. Sun's light, earlier position, you please see, sun's light was coming from here and you are taking photograph like this. Now after 3 months, camera is here, but sun's light is coming in at 90-degree angle. So to avoid this scenario, what will happen? Every day, see, the Earth completes one round in 365 days. In 365 days, Earth covers 360 degrees. Almost 1 degree per day. So what we do is, since the Earth is moving around 1 degree out of the 360 degrees every day, we also change the position of the satellite by 1 degree every day, so that every day our satellite is within the same angle or with the same angle to the sun. So when the satellite, the Earth reaches here, we have changed the position such a way that this satellite is positioned in the same angle which was there, say 1 month before, 2 months, every day we change. So when in a polar sun synchronous orbit, now what is the bottom line? In a polar sun synchronous orbit, we or the satellite's plane of rotation or plane of revolution is revolving around the Earth. The plane in which it is revolving, it is changed by approximately 1 degree per day, so that the satellite is in constant angle with sun throughout the year. We change the plane of revolution of the satellite by around 1 degree per day to adjust with the Earth's rotation, Earth's revolution around the sun, so that the satellite is in constant angle with sun throughout the year. What is the advantage of constant angle with the sun? Illumination will be constant, so that photographs taken 3 months before or any day is comparable. So photographs taken throughout the year are comparable. See, suppose you take a photograph in the month of June. Now you are taking another photograph in the month of December. We want to see the difference, say in vegetation. If the illumination is not correct, if there is a change in illumination, these photographs will not be comparable. We want to compare at the same illumination. That is why we are launching this satellite, we are calling it as a sun synchronous orbit. We are adjusting the plane of revolution of the satellite. The plane of revolution of the satellite is changed by approximately 1 degree per day, so that the satellite is at a constant angle with sun, so that photographs can be compared. And we can do this only if the satellite is revolving from North Pole to South Pole. We can change the plane of revolution by 1 degree. The satellite will have to travel, if the satellite is traveling from equator or above equator, and if it is traveling from west to east or east to west, whatever it is, on a given day, the satellite will automatically go on the other side where there is no illumination. We cannot change the angle anymore. And moreover, when the satellite is vertically above equator, the photograph of the polar region, it will be at an angle. It will always be coming at an angle only. So we need satellites, photographs to be taken vertically above. So when the polar scenario, what is happening? It can be above pole also, it can be above equator also, it can be above each and every place at a given time, and vertical photographs can be taken. So that is why this polar always, it has to be sun synchronous, because lighting has to be adjusted, because remote sensing satellites only activity is photography, and photography requires proper lighting, a sun synchronous orbit. I hope there must be something wrong with the server. No, I mean server has no problem. It is only internet speed, internet connection. Server is going on perfectly well. Had the server had problems, we would have been seeing it immediately, and here also the classes would have got discontinued, or we could have been easily identified. So it is, Pame, it is unfortunately the internet connection. Please adjust. That is the only thing I can say. Anyway, so the bottom line of my discussion, please don't forget, we are talking about the remote sensing satellites are placed in a polar, pole to pole, sun synchronous orbit. It is at an angle with sun. So, there can even be a question how a polar sun synchronous orbit is different from a communication satellite's orbit. Communication satellites are placed above equator, we have already seen it is traveling from west to east. It has to have a speed equivalent to the rotation of the earth. 24 hours it should complete one round, then only there can be constant communication. But polar satellites are revolving from north to south. Polar satellites are revolving at a much smaller height, from 400 to 1200 kilometers height. It covers more than one round per day. See, if you are just traveling at 300 or 400 kilometers above the surface of the earth, this satellite may complete one revolution around the earth maybe in 1.5 to 2 hours. So, it will revisit the same place again and again in a given day. Okay. So, see, orbit, please remember, any object which is revolving around any object, its center of gravity should be in the center of the earth, that is all. Okay. So, in this case, it is also the center of the earth is the center of gravity. Similarly, if it is in the equatorial orbit, again the center of gravity of that orbit or the center of that orbit is center of the earth, then only it can revolve round. Any angle it can revolve, any angle it can revolve, provided it is the center of that orbit is the center of the earth. So, we have two orbits, we are very clear. One is the geostationary orbit, another is the polar orbit. These are the two most popular ones, but in navigation satellites we have satellites in all angles, we will see that later on. Okay, that is a different thing altogether. Okay. So, remote sensing satellites, in a remote sensing satellite photography include the spectrum. Generally, we say that even the entire spectrum can be used, but mostly we are using ultraviolet, visible, infrared and micro. Even a gamma ray or even X-ray, if it is emitted or scattered from the surface of the earth, we can capture by such a camera, but most of the photography is in ultraviolet, visible, infrared as well as in micro, because radio waves and all may not be there for photography purpose, it may not be required. Okay. So, most of the photography is in this range, but we can take right from gamma X-ray also, but not much of those are emitted from the or scattered or reflected from the surface of the earth, that is the difference here. So, this orbit is called sun synchronous orbit, I already said, it is traveling from north to south and the same angle is required, it is very, very crucial. So, that is why it is in a polar sun synchronous orbit, multispectral camera, charge coupled devices are used, and there are three types of cameras. There are three types of cameras generally used. Okay. So, the orbit should be always rotated from north to south. You can always say that it is south to north also. If you do not want to say north to south, you say south to north, but battery same. But it has to be north to south or south to north, because then only we can change the plane of revolution by 1 degree, so that the angle, the satellite's angle with respect to sun can be maintained. So, it has to be from pole to pole. It cannot be above equator. Okay. So, there are three types of camera. One camera especially which we have used, very famous, it is called WIFS, WIFS, I small, okay, WIFS. It is called wide field sensors. Wide field sensors, these are the cameras which are, or in these days we also call AWIFS, advanced wide field sensors are also being used. This is for vegetation, mapping, to take the photograph of the vegetation. Even to take the photograph of the crop coverage, forest cover, even drought affected, flood affected, etc., etc. So these cameras are these WIFs, mainly and these cameras have the ability, okay, from the satellite. If this is the camera, it also has the ability to rotate on its own axis, and from the same location it may rotate and take photographs. Let me draw it again. It may rotate on its own axis. So what happens is, on the surface of the earth, if it is in the same location, it might have been covering this, but with this it may be covering a larger area, because of the rotation. By turning the neck, we can see a larger area. The same way, this camera can rotate on its own axis by an angle. So this rotation in its own angle will help us in taking a wider area to be covered. And the WIF's camera can cover, I mean, even our earlier remote sensing satellite, they are able to cover the whole of India within 5 days. They are able to cover the whole of India photography, vegetation cover in 5 days. So it's quite impressive that, otherwise imagine if you had to go and take the photograph manually or even using an aircraft, it would have been taking many months to complete our coverage on Earth, on India alone. Forget about the whole of the globe. So this it can take the whole. There's a vegetation mapping by WIFs. Then there is another camera called panchromatic camera. Okay, panchromatic camera is basically another. It's a multi-color. Color filtering is possible. Multi-color camera for taking again specific images. And there is a third type of camera called LIS, linear image self-scanning camera. Linear image self-scanning. This is specifically used for also the depth of the matter. Okay, suppose you take a photo from the top and you see a water body, but we are not able to see how much water is there. So this linear image self-scanning camera helps in even measuring the depth of the water also. How deep is the water body? How much? So it can quantify the volume also. So it can take photographs in a 3D, three-dimensional pictures are possible. Okay. So I was talking about WIFs, vegetation mapping, crop coverage, forest cover, drought affected, flood affected areas, etc. We can take photograph, and as I said, from a camera, when you take the photograph, it can be the angle, okay, multiple angle, so that it can cover a larger area. That is a wide field sensor. Wide field, that the name itself suggests everything. Okay, wide field sensor. Wide field photograph can be taken. Then we have two more: panchromatic multicolor camera, specific photographs, LIS, mainly 3D pictures possible, linear image self-scanning, and these cameras where the panchromatic and all, or LIS, depending upon the requirement, its resolution power can be as small as 0.6 or 0.7 meter resolution power. less than 1 meter, you take it this way, okay. Anything less than 1 meter means, resolution power of 1 meter means, it can distinguish two objects which are placed 1 meter away. Suppose you are standing on earth, photography is taking place from the top, if the satellite is 600 kilometers above, we are not even able to see the satellite, but it can take photograph and it can distinguish two objects. When I say resolution power is 1 meter, the meaning is it can distinguish two objects which are placed 1 meter away. It can distinguish two objects which are placed 1 meter away. So that is the meaning. So any two, suppose two cars are parked on a ground, and if it is placed 1 meter away, this satellite can easily make out and tell that there are two cars. If two buildings are there, and if two buildings are placed even 1 meter away, they will be able to, the satellite will be able to distinguish, this camera can distinguish and tell that there are two buildings, it is not a one building. See, in a long distance, if you try to see something, we may not be able to make out. If you look from one building to another building, if it is far away, we may not be able to make out if somebody is standing on the balcony. But if a good resolution the telescope is there, we can distinguish that. The same thing here, if the resolution power is 1 meter means, so that we have resolution power less than 1 meter, even 0.6 meter, meaning 60 centimeters apart. So any camera of this nature having a resolution power less than 1 meter is used in spying purpose also, military purpose. So we have a series of cameras where this LIS as well as in panchromatic one, where the resolution power is less than 1 meter. So it is used, it can also be used in spying for military purpose. So we have the capability of making or taking photographs from the space which can distinguish two objects which are kept just less than 1 meter apart, which can also be used for spying and military purpose. So WIFs will not distinguish the objects, WIFs will give only a wider field, long distance photography.